Okay guys, this is a little workshop. I've got it's a 10 by 10 foot. I got the diesel heater mostly connected up right now. What I did was I ran the exhaust pipe right out the side on the tin. I'm gonna have to monitor that and see how hot that pipe gets. Make sure it doesn't burn all the paint off of this. What I may have to do is cut a bigger hole and put a metal plate in there later. But this is my test setup. I don't have a 12 volt power supply for this yet. So what I did, I had some spare repair cord laying around. So I cut a piece of that off and I connected it to a extra car battery I have laying around and put some connectors on the ends. I've got it marked here. There's the positive connection. So you got your 2 on the back here. See that? And so I got this one marked with a red connector. This one I put a piece of red shrink tubing, positive side of the battery. So these just unscrew, and when I want to power it, I'm going to hook that lead up, and then we'll have power to it. So I still have to put diesel on this, and we're going to do a test run on it. And I've also got a battery charger here, so I can keep that battery topped up until I get my 12 volt power supply. Also, what I think I'm going to do is just leave this open on the front. It would have been nice if this directional vent had another adapter, maybe a piece of tubing, other than this flexible hose, which I could cut a piece of this down and connect it up like so, but cut it shorter. I may see if I got some tubing laying around for that, but this won't connect right up to that vent. Be nice if you could, and you could kind of angle the airflow any way you want it. But for now I'm going to leave it open like so. And I've got the fresh air intake routed through the back here. Let me turn this. It's already connected outside, so it's hard to turn. But you can see I routed it up. There's a hole in the back foot right back here, so you can route the fresh air intake. And I put the filter on it, and I zip tied it to the case right here. There's that hole. Okay, so now I've had to put it up on some wooden blocks because the exhaust, once you connect the exhaust up, it sits so low to the ground that there's not enough clearance. So you need to put it up on some feet or some 2x4 blocks like I got here. Okay, so we're going to throw some diesel on this and I'm going to do a little test run on it. Okay guys, there is no screen on the top of the heater for where you fill it. So what I have is a Mr. Funnel portable fuel filter. It's got a filter built into the bottom of it. It's got a real fine mesh screen on it. Can't really see it, but it's got that. So I'm going to use that to fill my heater just in case there's any contamination, because I've gotten diesel before where there's maybe the fuel hose where you pump it out into the can is a little deteriorated. And I've got some diesel from the gas station before, and it's had little black pieces of rubber in it. So it's not a bad idea to filter your fuel as you put it in. Okay guys, I got a little bit of diesel in there. I didn't fill it all the way because I want to do a test run on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check all the fittings, make sure there's no leaks on this fuel pump and all these fittings, just to be sure when I first start it up. So here we go. Okay guys, when you first get your heater set up, you're going to want to prime your fuel line And to do that, you have to turn the fuel pump on manually, which is you press the setting and down regulate key at the same time. So the setting key up here, and actually, believe it or not, this is the down regulate over here. So I'm going to press these two together, and it says off, and then you hit this one, hit that there, and it turns the pump on. So then you're going to want to watch your fuel line till it fills up. You don't want to get too much fuel into the heater, it's going to smoke real bad. So when that's all primed up, then you hit this button again, right here. Maybe this one. There it is. That one over there. This one to turn it on, that one to turn it off. Okay, there's two different ways to regulate the temperature. And when you first plug your unit in, it's going to be in this pulsing mode. Okay, so see how it says 1.6 hertz. This is the down button. This is the up button, and you can change that number up and down. And that's basically a certain amount of pulses per minute, and it'll give you constant heat. And then if you press to get in the other mode is a temperature regulation mode. It goes off a thermostat. So you press the OK button and the up button, these two here. See how it went in? It says 10 centigrade. Okay, so I can change that down to 8 centigrade, up, and I believe 20 or 21 centigrade is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's how you change those two modes of heat control. Alright, this OK button will change the display and give you different information. So right now it's showing the time it's been plugged in, and if you press the OK, there's the room temperature in centigrade. There is the set temperature that you want to regulate to. There is the battery voltage, and I'm not sure what that is. If that's like, it's showing like a little mountain, so I'm not sure if that's like elevation or what that is. And there's also your error codes. So right now it has no error codes. It's 00. You have to look in the manual if you get an error code on there. I know before I plugged my battery charger in, I was getting a low voltage error code up here, and it was 01. Okay, there's also some other, you can hit the setting button over here and it'll change the display. There's a timer on there, so you can set, I think you can set the time it comes on and turns off. That's the off time. The first one was the on time. And there's a lock, so I guess that locks the display, so in case your children don't play with it. Okay guys, this is going to be my first startup of the heater. What I'm going to just hit this button here, and it turns on the fan. I got air blowing through here, and it should turn on the glow plug. That right there is showing the glow plug is on. Electricity's plugged in, and it's showing there's air flowing through the exhaust and intake. I think the green one right in the bottom here, see that green light? That's the intake air, and then the exhaust air is flowing. So we're going to wait a minute. The glow plug is going to heat up, and then it should turn the pump on, and we should start getting some heat after that. It takes a little bit of a time. It might be a minute or two before the heat starts coming on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off right here, and I'll pick up when it starts to when it engages the fuel pump. Okay, it was just maybe 30 seconds and it started to engage the fuel pump. So, let's see here if we start getting some heat pretty soon. The exhaust is not getting hot yet, so I'm not sure if it lit up. Let's see. It's primed up with fuel. It sounds like it's lighting now. You hear that? Kind of low hum. I kind of smell a little bit of something. I do have the exhaust hooked up outside, right here. I can feel a little bit of heat on the exhaust pipe, but I just have it pushed in a hole. That's a 1-inch hole. This is just temporary setup. And then I'm going to put some heat silicone that's heat sensitive, or I may cut this out bigger and put a thick panel on there, something more heat resistance, because it may burn the paint off of this. It's starting to really spin up now, I hear it, and the pump's going faster. So I'm going to check. Yeah, I do have the heat display set on, it's really kicking up now. So you can see that without too much glare. Things are really kicking out now. So this is starting to show on the display down here some notches. I got it on 21 degrees centigrade. Let's try. I kind of smell some burning. It's probably heating up that exhaust pipe, burning off the oils from production. It's really kicking up the notches on there. I'm turning the heat up higher and higher. 35 it tops out at. Okay, let's turn it down a little bit. See, that last digit came on. It's sort of funny that you have to press this button to go down, this one to go up. Usually it's the opposite. I'm going to turn this down to like 10 degrees centigrade. Right now it's 7 in here. That's the temperature. We're definitely getting some heat coming out of here. And we'll see if it... I'll leave it on... let's put it on 15 degrees centigrade. I guess it runs up real high, like wide open, for a while. See how the display here is set wide open, so it's burning a lot of fuel. It's really pumping away. Cranks out a lot of heat until it gets heated up good in the room. And then probably we'll start throttling back the heat a little bit to control the temperature. It's 8 degrees centigrade in here now. It was 7 a minute ago. I'm set on 15. There's the voltage. And I'm not sure what that is. No error codes. Over time. I wish it would stay on the display. Like, keep that display on. It looks like it may do that. Hit the OK button. We can hold that display. Just leave it on that. That's the air temperature in here. right now. It's really clicking away, I'm going to tell you. It's getting out some heat. It's putting out some serious heat. Let me tell you. I'm going to get my heat gun out. I'm going to close the door in here. Okay, you can see how much diesel I got. I'll make a little mark here. Let this run. It's not even half a gallon of diesel in there. Let it run for a couple hours. So I'm going to check the temperature. I got this heat gun. It's saying it's 57 degrees in here right now. Let's check the heat that's coming out of the front of the heater here. Saying it's, let's see if I can get that, okay, 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Take another reading. Woo! 327 degrees. Right off the metal block that's inside there. That metal. Took a reading right off of that. Yeah, this thing is kicking out some serious heat. Okay, now it's saying 270. I'm going to take a reading on the exhaust pipe here. That is pretty hot too. That exhaust pipe, I'm going to get right up on it, is about 270. So you definitely, when you route your exhaust pipe, do not get it near anything flammable. And that's somewhat close to that wood right down there. I think I'm going to have to make a heat shield around that exhaust pipe or put some type of heat wrap on it. That sucker is hot. It's 280 degrees. But I went there and I held it on. There we go. It varies. About 270, 280, 268, right around 270. And the heat coming out of here, 329 degrees. That's the metal block temperature, the heat, or the heat sink. Let me tell you, that thing is really hot. It's hard to keep your hand in front of this. I got my hand like, probably a foot away, and it is hot. It's hard to keep your hand right there. Let's take a temperature off my hand. And I got it right there. My hand a foot away, 125 degrees. It's almost too hot to hold my hand there. Let's see, it shows on the display what the temperature is in here yet. It gets a lot of glare, so I gotta take this out of here. It says, I notice the display dims down. So I'm gonna hit OK. It's set on 15 degrees. So you can see that. I'll zoom this in. Set on 15. Voltage. It says it's 10 degrees centigrade in here. According to that. It's been running a short time. Just a few minutes. I don't think it's been running 5 minutes yet. And we started out, I know, I looked up at the thermometer on the wall here, and I think it was about 48. So it was right, maybe, because that's 50. I think it was right about there, maybe 46. Here's 40. It was right between 40 and 50, so maybe about 45 degrees. And it's hard to tell. It's hard to see this. Okay, there's a better angle. It was right between 40 and 50, so probably about 45 degrees it was, and now it's already 52, 54. We'll let it run for a little longer. It's still kind of running wide open. The fans are spinning real fast. It says it's 11 degrees centigrade. And you notice the bars on there all the way up. So I think that means it's pumping. And it's wide open heat output right now. That's how it sounds. There's the fuel pump looking away. The quicker pump. See the fuel flowing through there. There's a air bubble right in there. But it seems to be feeding enough fuel. This is the air filter back here, so I'm going to probably have to check that once in a while. But it gets a little dusty in here, that's why I put the air filter on there. I guess some people run it without that. I'm definitely going to run it. Eventually I'm going to get a power supply, a 12 volt power supply that I can mount on the wall here when I still have to insulate them here. Put some insulation and some sheetrock in here. But winter set in. It's cold. It's going to be down into about single digits or about teens tonight. I think right now it's about 25 degrees outside. I'll tell you, this thing puts out some good heat though. I like it already. Okay guys, I'm still doing a little test on my heater. I'm going to let this run for quite a while. I'm going to watch the fuel, see how much fuel we use. Kind of doing a time test. See how much fuel it uses in about an hour. And I just want to show you, this is my air conditioner for summer. I've got it exhausting out into the pole barn, through the wall here. So the hot air goes through here. It's a portable air conditioner. And it has a tube in the back here that I let the water pour into that bucket. And now I got the battery in it. But this is my old heater. It's a kerosene heater. So kerosene has a smell to it, obviously, when you're burning kerosene. And it also gives off moisture. So you get a lot of moisture in the air. For this heater, it takes in fresh air through this pipe here, and it burns the diesel and the air mixed together in the combustion chamber, and then it exhausts any moisture or burned gases out the exhaust pipe outside, so you won't get a lot of moisture build up in your shop with one of these little diesel heaters versus a kerosene heater like this. And let me tell you, this thing in about 4 or 5 hours will burn through a gallon or more of kerosene. So what we're going to do, I'm hoping, kerosene is $4 a gallon right now, and with diesel is around $2 or $2.50 a gallon. And I got a diesel tractor and a diesel truck that I drive every day, so I figured let's go with the diesel heater. And so this should save me some money on fuel. Also, there'd be a drier heat in here. I won't have any moisture build up. Once I insulate these walls, I don't want to have any moisture build up in the insulation. So this will be a little test here. See how it runs. So far I'm liking it a lot better than the kerosene heater. Kerosene has some smell to it, especially when you go, this is how you crank the wick up on it. And then when you go to shut it off, extinguish the flame inside there, this button, it drops the wick down, but the wick is still hot. The flame goes out and it'll give off a bad smell. Like the wick is giving off a lot of kerosene vapors. And it'll smell real bad in here. So with this, no smell. Let me go outside and take a look at the exhaust port one time. Let's see how hot it is on the wood here. Actually, not hot at all. I can put my hand right close to the exhaust pipe. It's not bad at all. But I'm still going to wrap that pipe in some heat resistant material. Okay, we're up to 13 degrees, and I got it set at 15 degrees centigrade so far, and we are approaching 60 degrees in here. So at about 57, getting close to 58 degrees. Okay guys, we're going outside the workshop here, and as you can see, it's winter. This is the first snow we've had here. It's December 23rd, almost Christmas. I just want to see how it looks outside here. Here's where I poked a hole in the wall for the heater. What I'm probably going to do is bend that, push it through the wall a little more, and bend the pipe down, and I'm probably going to put a little bit of screen over that so I don't get mice crawling in there. Let me tell you, winter is here. We've got, in the last, I bet we got about 3 or 4 inches of snow. It just in the last hour, it's piling up. We do not get much snow here in Tennessee. This is the most snow I've seen in a while. Here's something else that came with the heater. It's a little remote. It has, it takes 2 AA batteries. I'll get this open here. So it's a little bitty remote, and it has power, and it has OK, and it has up and down. It keeps coming up with a message connecting. Please wait. So, I guess that's what the little symbol on here is for. I don't know if this works off of Bluetooth or what it does. You can see there's a little signal meter there. So far I haven't been able to connect this up. I'll have to look at the directions and see if there's something I'm going to do to have it connect up. Okay, I noticed the heater's starting to run down a little bit now. Let's look at the display. It's starting to slow down. I think it's reaching its temperature. I had it set on, it's saying it's 16. I had it set on 15 degrees centigrade. You can hear it slowing way down. Is the battery voltage, no errors, time, and it's saying it's 16 degrees centigrade in here, thermostat. So it's dialed itself way down. Let's see if it continues to run, which I think it's gonna. It's probably gonna try to maintain that temperature. I'm not sure if it totally shuts itself off and then restarts as needed, or if it just goes to like a real low speed where it just tries to maintain a temperature. Let's take a look up here on the wall. Let's see if I can get the right angle here. There it is. Let's get a little better. It's about 60 degrees in here now. So 15 degrees centigrade, about 60, give or take. I'll let it run for a while like this, and I'll let you know if it turns itself off and then restarts when it gets cold in here. Probably do is what I'll do is open the door over here, let some cool air in. I'm gonna let it run down for a while though, and see if it shuts off. And then what I'll do is open the door, see if it turns back on automatically, or if it just clicks away real slow to maintain the temperature, and see how much fuel I've used so far. Just from that mark there. And it's been running for, let's see here, there was about an hour of time on it. It's probably been running about a half an hour, because I believe when I started it had a 1 hour and maybe a few minutes over here. So it's probably been running about a half an hour wide open, and it's used that much fuel, which is almost nothing really, very little at all, maybe half a cup fuel. Still quite a bit of heat coming out of there. Let me check it with my temperature gun. So display to 50-ish. That's right on the heating element. Let's check the exhaust pipe. 150. Okay, so I put it in, I turned the power off, and right now it's in cool down mode. What it did was it went from full bore feeding fuel in to slowly adding less fuel, and now it has cut the fuel. It's not adding any fuel anymore, but the blower is still going to, I think, to cool down the internal heater part so it doesn't get hot soaked and melt the housing. So it seems like the housing is made out of plastic, so if that fan ever quits blowing and the heater's running full bore, it'd probably melt this case. So it's been about probably a minute or two, maybe 2 minutes since I hit the off button, and it's still running. The exhaust pipe is cool to the touch now. I think it runs air through the exhaust too for a while. Okay, now it's done shutting down. It must be done cooling off. The internal fins are cool enough I can touch them. That's the exhaust pipe. So I'd say about 2 minutes is what it takes to do a shutdown on one of these diesel heaters.